Rents are rising again, but not exactly everywhere. The rental market is shifting. Spokane is heating up a little bit. Liberty Lake is cooling off, and some of the areas are quietly becoming sort of the best places to invest in 2025. If you own rental property, you're thinking of buying, you need to see this. I'm Brian Johnson, real estate broker and senior property manager here in Spokane. I'm with Windermere Lease Source. We manage over 1,000 units, and I definitely have my finger on the pulse of pricing with all those units that we have to price all the time. So across the county, rents are generally on the rise, but that's when you look at a snapshot of all properties, all sizes, all bedrooms. Spokane Valley is slipping. Liberty Lake, I said, has cooled for 2 months in a row. Meanwhile, Cheney, Airway Heights, they're quietly delivering pretty solid returns. So let's drop right into the numbers, you guys. Let's start with Spokane. Back in January, the average rent here was $1,410 on Zillow. That's the average for all properties, everything. Fast forward to now, Zillow puts it at $1,495. So a three-bedroom home surged to $2,299 a month. That's a 15% jump in 7 months. Two-bedroom apartments are also climbing. So $1,471 up from $1,317 in January. That's a pretty clear trend, especially if you've got mid-range product in the central neighborhoods or South Hill. But Spokane Valley, that's a little bit of a different story. The overall rent has dropped to $1,573. Two-bedroom apartments peaked in April at $1,465, but they've dropped 2 months in a row. Three-bedroom homes have lost momentum too. They're dropping from $2,150 to $2,095. So that's there's also a lot of new construction, duplexes, big box buildings, and there's a lot of older inventory. So be cautious because it's really competitive right now in Spokane Valley. Now, Liberty Lake has always been the top dollar rental zone in Spokane County, but it's been dropping now, like I said, 2 months in a row. Three-bedroom homes were at $26.99 in April, now $25.95. Two-bedroom apartments slid to $16.28. So it's still a premium market. It's just no longer accelerating. New projects elsewhere are stealing some of that, shine, I think. Now, Cheney, college town, military-based draw, and more stable than you would expect. Rents haven't changed much since April. $22.95 for a three-bedroom house, $1,300 for a two-bedroom apartment. But that's the point. It's consistent. Now, Airway Heights is the dark horse. Average rents are rising every month. $2,300 for a three-bedroom home, $1,491 for a two-bedroom apartment. And that inventory is pretty low, with Fairchild Air Force Base feeding basically really good demand, plus new construction that's still affordable. That's the market I think that's also primed for investors right now. Now, Idaho, Post Falls, and Coeur d'Alene, those are holding pretty steady. Post Falls average rent is $2,095, and Coeur d'Alene is at $1,895, all properties, all bedrooms. These are high quality, desirable markets. We all know that. So don't confuse steady with cheap. Three-bedroom homes in Coeur d'Alene are pushing $2,350, and two-bedroom apartments are at $1,682. If you're investing in these markets, just know you're buying into stability, not bargains. So if you zoom out a little bit, Spokane rents are rising. Spokane Valley is volatile. Liberty Lake is cooling. Cheney and Airway Heights, always stable and growing. Idaho is holding its value, but not accelerating right now. So here's what this means for you as a landlord or an investor. If you want stability, look at Cheney and Airway. If you want growth, Spokane kind of back on the rise. Central Spokane, absolutely. Garland, that area. If you're in the valley, stay aggressive with pricing and upgrades. And if you're holding in Liberty Lake or Coeur d'Alene, watch the next 60 days closely. I'm Brian Johnson with Windermere Lease Source. If you want to know the pricing on your rental, feel free to reach out, text me. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me, or send me an email. Here's my number and here's my email address. I'd like to help you guys with any pricing or any questions you might have. The laws are getting pretty tricky here in Washington, so don't be shy about reaching out.